Hey, what's up, guys? This is David Chase Taylor of 911truther.org. Today is September 5th of 2025. So, based on breaking news and events, it appears the CIA headquarters located beneath CERN at Lake Geneva in Switzerland is going to stage a Russian Federation-backed Islamic terror group based attack and invasion targeting multiple countries in the greater Israel project, countries surrounding the state of Israel on the date of September 6th of 2025. So this attack is likely going to consist of the Israeli Defense Forces, Shin Bet and Mossad, but they are going to be masquerading under the guise of Al-Qaeda, Hamas, Hezbollah, ISIS, Muslim Brotherhood, Syrian rebels, and the Taliban. And the impending attacks are going to be basically October 7th times 100, and it's going to target multiple locations in Egypt, Israel, Iraq, Jordan, Lebanon, Palestine, Syria, Turkey, and or Yemen. So for those of you that are unaware, the apartheid state of Israel has conducted numerous anti-terror operations and military actions across the Middle East in the last 2 years since the date of October 7th. And these have been on the border with Egypt in the Sinai Desert, in Iraq, namely the drone attack on Tower 22, obviously within Israel during October 7th, their ongoing feud with Jordan, so the Jordan-Israeli border, the attacks in Lebanon, obviously the attacks in the Gaza Strip, the ongoing genocide there, the multiple attacks targeting Iran-backed proxy groups in Syria, so far none in Turkey, but there's been a bunch of them in Yemen. So basically these attacks over the last year, 18 months or so, have, in my opinion, set up the stage for this apocalyptic Armageddon type scenario, which is slated to commence on the morning of September 6th of 2025 across the Middle East. So basically the Israeli Mossad, the Shin Bet, and their Israeli Defense Forces are basically going to unleash unbridled hell across the Middle East on the date of September 6th. Killing likely thousands, tens of thousands, possibly even hundreds of thousands of people in the initial wave. This is going to be an onslaught. It's going to be basically Israel flexing her military muscle under the guise of an Islamic offensive. So when the CIA spawned the ISIS caliphate narrative, that coincidentally mimics the greater Israeli project, which includes parts of Egypt, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, and Turkey. And so this is basically Israel is going to expand her borders starting on the date of September 6th of 2025 to take parts of all the aforementioned Islamic countries. Naturally, this is going to draw Iran into the mix, Russia into the mix, and this is going to be executed under the guise of Russian-backed Islamic proxy terror groups and Iran-backed proxy terror groups attacking multiple locations across the Middle East on the date of September 6th. Obviously, this is going to be the opening salvo of World War III. Obviously, the United States, the UK, the European Union, and so forth will follow suit. But this is going to be the false flag of false flags, in that these are going to be Israeli Special Forces, Israeli IDF soldiers with black masks on, raping, murdering, and killing thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people in the open under the guise of Islamic jihad. So, that is why back on, I believe it was August 5th of 2022, the CIA ordered the Israeli Defense Forces to activate 25,000 IDF reservists. So these are war-torn or war-experienced veterans, and these are going to be the forces that are going to be masquerading. So it's going to be basically a 25,000 man army just ransacking the Middle East starting on the date of September 6th. and they're likely going to be using the military equipment that Joe Biden gifted to the Taliban back on July 1st of 2021. I forget the number, but I think it was something like $25 billion worth of equipment for Hercules C-130s, and something like 70 helicopters, night vision goggles, all the latest equipment. Basically, to outfit a 25,000 man army, you would need exactly what was left in Afghanistan. And so these are going to be Israeli Defense Forces, Mossad, Shin Bet actors with black masks on, using U.S. military equipment that was paid for by the U.S. Taxpayer, and they're going to be murdering Islamic, Arabs, and Muslims across the Middle East. And this is going to be basically a horrific genocide that is going to be perpetrated by the Zionist establishment on the neighbors of Israel, specifically so that Israel can expand her borders, and because obviously they're running out of land in Israel. They have more people than they know what to do with, and they need to build more. They need more oceanfront property, in short. So obviously the Israeli remote activation munition systems, the RAMs, the pager bombing attacks in Hezbollah, against Hezbollah in Lebanon. This is because this is going to be a waves of attacks that are going to start tomorrow, and they're predictably going to end with nuclear attacks in the state of Israel by Iran. So this is what this is designed to do, is to basically portray the picture, paint the picture, if you will, of an unstoppable Islamic offensive, when in reality it's going to be executed by Israel with their black masks on. So obviously, if the CIA stages any sort of Islamic offensive in the Middle East, targeting Israel, Egypt, Iraq, Jordan, Lebanon, Palestine, Syria, Turkey, and or Yemen, obviously know that it was planned and that it was orchestrated by Switzerland and her CIA, which is the puppeteer behind the puppet that is Netanyahu. So obviously that cannot be allowed to happen. So if this, in fact, this operation, this what I'm calling the Israeli Caliphate, goes forward, I kindly ask you to download this video and share it with local, state, and federal law enforcement, military, and intelligence officials, as well as with local, national, and international media outlets. Peace.